Hello everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night. In today's video, we are going to be diving deep, and when I say deep, I mean deep into the VOPLLS A6 projector and one specific feature that it has, which is the wireless display. Wireless display comes in different forms. In this first example, we're going to be connecting my gaming PC, located here on the left hand corner, to the VOPLLS projector, which right now I have it propped on top of a box, which is on top of a TV stand in our bedroom. I didn't want to have to move my gaming computer into our living room because later I'm going to be playing Arc Raiders. But yeah, so let's dive right into it. And then as well, just to kind of backtrack, we're going to be demonstrating how it works with connecting with a Windows computer, with connecting on a MacBook, and then as well as with an iPhone. And one thing that we've noticed as well when you're connecting, if you're using the wireless remote, one thing that we noticed when you're using the wireless display in addition to that. So let me walk over here to my computer. What you're first going to do, generally speaking, so you'll have it on the menu screen of the VOPLLS A6 projector. And there's a couple ways to connect to a device via the ScreenShare. So the first option right here, as you can see on the TV, is this TV Casting app. This one I believe we installed from the Play Store, or it may have come pre-installed onto the projector, but when you click on it, this one is only for mobile devices. And so this allows you to connect the app, the TV Casting app, so in my case the iPhone, and I'll be able to do the remote pairing for that. You don't have to be on this app directly to connect to it. This just kind of gives you the initial setup, like it shows there, scan the QR code, to then be able to connect everything. If you're wanting to connect to the computer, let me come back over here and I can show you on the remote. But right here, it's kind of hard to see. We'll flash that real quick. So right here, there's this little icon right here. So it's a square with a little arrow on it. This will bring you to this menu. So again, you have the option for TV casting, file share, and then MediaCast. MediaCast is what we're focusing on with the computer. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And like it shows here, it does allow you to cast the phone. So if you have like an Android-based phone, it'll allow you to cast that way or with a computer. And then like here it shows, you'll hit the Windows key plus the K key, and then you'll select the VOPLLS and then whatever numbers it shows. In my case, it's the 61C9. And we'll scroll down here. You do have to scroll all the way down until it says click here to open MediaCast. You just hit the down arrow on the remote. We'll hit OK. This time it's going to wait for users to connect. You'll see a peer device list appear, so like it shows here. The desktop one that shows up on the screen is what we're going to be connecting on my gaming PC. So let me do that right now. So I'm going to hit Windows K. It'll bring up a cast option, and I can go back and within these settings I can change if I want the PC screen only, duplicate, extend, or second screen only. For right now I'm going to hit extend, and then I'm going to go back down to wire display, and it'll allow me to connect to a wireless display, and like it shows here, VOPLLS, and then it says the same name. Once I click on it on my computer, it should bring up a display momentarily to connect on the projector itself. And with previous testing, I've noticed that sometimes it doesn't immediately connect. So I usually will either have to exit the VOPLLS app for the MediaCast, or I'll disconnect it from my computer, kind of restart the process, and then it should be good to go. But as you can see here, it shows the invitation to connect, which is from my computer. I'll hit accept, and then we'll wait a moment. And then like it says here, the Android TV, meaning the VOPLLS A6 projector, is going to disconnect from the Wi-Fi while it's connected to my computer, and I'll hit OK. And then we'll wait a moment and hope that this works the first time around. I've learned that I need to be a little bit more patient with connecting to the wireless display. It's not an immediate thing similar to like when I connect my iPhone to it. It's usually pretty immediate, and so we'll just have to give it a moment. And what we're going to do in these tests, so with a gaming PC, I'm going to play a video from Disney, Hulu, and HBO Max, and just to showcase if you're watching a movie on your browser, to see if you're able to wirelessly screen share that option right there. And then later on we can do a test with HDMI, but again, this video is focusing on the wireless function. But as you can see right now, it's not connecting, so I'm going to hit cancel on my computer. I'm going to give it a moment to refresh, and then I'm going to click on it again. It says connecting. I'll accept it again. And then now this time it works. It is going to show the native display of the projector. So in this case, it's a little bit more of a square. And so that's reflected, as you can see here, on my wide monitor in that regard. So for the most part right now, there's no latency or any lag in that regard, but we'll come over here to Bluey. I'm going to mute the projector just for copyright reasons. Don't want to get flagged in that regard, but as you can see, I'll hit play, and between the two screens, if you can see that, it's pretty seamless. There's no really delay or anything, but as you can see, you can watch a Disney Plus show or movie or whatever on there without any issues. And then if we go over here to Hulu, we had Modern Family. The colors will be a little bit different. It's just based off settings. You can, again, hit the little hamburger button or the settings icon on your remote to adjust those settings, but as you see, there's no issues in terms of the playability of the show. And then we come in here to HBO. We had Dune pulled up, but as you can see, no issue in that regard. Again, just more discoloration based off some settings that I have on here, but you can watch shows. The next test that we have right here is we are going to open up Arc Raiders via my Steam account. I'm going to hit play. I don't have any really other apps besides the Chrome browser open, but we're going to demonstrate to see if we can actually get a game running. And again, with this one is a little bit more intensive in terms of the display. So with it being a wireless display, it may not be as seamless or fluid in that regard. And again, later we'll test it with a wired cable to see what differences there are in that sense. But we'll get this loaded up and then we'll proceed with everything in that regard. So we'll give that a second. But as you can see, kind of in this initial, at least this screen, the loading screen bar is loading pretty seamless, or the same amount. It's downloading its shaders. And then we'll see the screen of Speranza. But from this initial standpoint, everything looks good. No lag or delay in that regard. But the true test will be when we're actually loaded up into a round. And then in this case, I'm not going to actually play an actual round. We're just going to go into a practice range match. We'll hit confirm. I have my loadout. I'll hit ready. But as you can see, the character's functioning. There's no issues in that sense so far. But again, once we load up into the match, it'll be our true indicator. Alrighty, so we loaded into the practice match. Just gonna move my character forward. And from an initial standpoint, there's not really any lag, which I'm kind of surprised because I did no test earlier. And for whatever reason, it lagged hardcore. Now it could be because there's not too intense of a scene right here. But as you can see, I'm moving both screens or my mouse, and it's functioning properly. There's a little turret that we can access. Let me just take the lazy approach. Let's see which bag it's in. this zip line real quick. I'm just going to go hopefully somewhere where I won't fall. But as you can see, it's loading pretty good. And then we'll come over here and we'll just see how when there's a little bit of more action with this robot bot thing. For this one, actually, I can unmute it because it's not really copyrighted. If you can't hear the audio, it is playing directly from the projector. I do have a wireless speaker connected to my shirt, which could be impacting that. But of course, the VOPLLS projector is a little bit darker, again, based off settings, but in a general sense, okay, there's no really lag. And like I mentioned earlier, we'd have to test it in an actual match, which I will try right now. We'll just do what they call a free loadout, and we will load up into a match, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to play through an entire round, not to bore anybody, but we'll do a regular match. And we will see what we can find. And while that loads, we're going to adjust these settings really quick. Okay, so the hamburger brought this one, which is tear down, play, and pause, which is not what we want. So I'm going to hit, hope that it doesn't affect anything. These settings, we're going to go over to picture, and it looks like when you hit the settings, it actually disconnected the wireless screen, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so note to self, don't adjust your settings beforehand before you connect or reconnect to your projector, but we'll go in here, we'll reattempt to connect and hope that it's not laggy. And hope that I can actually get it connected again. So far so good, no lag, and I'm not going to look at the projector screen right now, but we're just going to go to an extract really quick, try to shoot some arc, and I'll loot some things, because why not, you know. But I mean, in a very general sense, it is a little surprising that this projector can handle the game. Now, one thing I should note, with my gaming PC is a little bit older, so I have an older graphics card, and I have my settings set to the lowest for the graphics. But in a very general sense, it's actually not too bad. The supply drop. Okay. This could be a scenario where if I really wanted to, I could connect my wireless remote or my kind of gamepad and play via that method, but I am more of a mouse and keyboard person. Unless it's a racing game, then I'll play with my little Xbox remote. But all in all, like I said before, I'm really surprised that the game's loading pretty good. I do want to figure out some of the settings or presets to see what I could adjust to get some better gameplay footage in that sense. But what we'll do is we'll get our character to the extract and move on to the next portion of our video. I'm hoping to also pick up on my previous gaming channel, where previously I was doing a lot more Fortnite content. I haven't done any streaming in that sense since we moved into our rental after we sold our townhome. But if you're interested in seeing maybe some more creator content, let me know in the comments. But I haven't tested to see if my computer can handle both streaming and gameplay at the same time, so that'll be fun to see. Robot that I don't want to see. Oh, yep, there is a Rocketeer right there, and I don't want to deal with that one, so. I'm surprised it didn't see me the first time, so. But to leave some players with some good luck. But yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps give someone an idea that the VOPLLS A6 projector can actually play some good gameplay with ARC Raiders. Granted, again, it's on the lowest settings. I don't have any other programs running besides that one Chrome browser. But yeah, so hopefully that gives someone an idea. And in the next portion of the video, we're going to start diving into an iPhone or a MacBook, but that'll be on our next chapter. So we're going to, yeah, we'll get that connected. Alrighty, we got everything transitioned back into our normal living room, but we're going to get started on showcasing the MacBook and how we can connect wirelessly to the VOPLLS A6 projector. And so what we're going to do is on your projector, if you do disconnect with the MediaCast, you need to make sure you can get connected to the Wi-Fi again. So you'll hit the settings button on your remote, which is this icon right here. And then you'll go in, make sure it's connected to the Wi-Fi, or else this next part won't work. And so on the MacBook, what I would do is you would come here onto the screen, and as you can see right here, you click this little button right here, and then you'll hit the AppleTV. And once it's connected, it's going to be either mirroring, or it'll be set up as a side-by-side or an extended monitor. You can click on, so in this case, the AppleTV, so I can click on it right here, and it gives me an option to either extend or have it as a main display, which is basically the mirrored option, or mirror built-in. But we're going to leave that as is for right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag over a few different views. So we're going to have our AppleTV, as well as our HBO and Hulu and Disney. We're gonna see if it works. So it looks like with Safari, at least, it doesn't work for HBO. So we had Dune, similar to what we had on the Windows computer. It's given us this error message, which says DRM system encountered a problem. So our digital rights management within Safari, for whatever reason, isn't working. So we'll need to check an HDMI cable, which would be the next test as well. If we come over here to Hulu, same thing. the device does not meet the security requirements. And then for Disney, it also gives us an error message. So unfortunately with Safari in that regard, it won't work. Let me, in the meantime, we'll move over to Yo Gabba Gabba Land on Apple TV. And it says it's playing. Let's fast forward a little bit. But unfortunately, it does not look like our MacBook allows for that screen share, which is also very unfortunate. Even when it's playing on just my main screen, it's still darkened in that sense. But so that's something to know. On the MacBook, it won't function in that regard. We're gonna get Chrome pulled up and see if it acts any different in that regard. And as you can see, we're gonna pull this over. So right here we have HBO. We're gonna scroll down back to Dune. I'll click on that. Yeah, so it's doing the dark screen again, so it may not be really functioning, unfortunately. And then if we come here to Hulu, we'll try Modern Family again. And unfortunately, it's also not working. You can see the countdown over here in the corner. It is playing the video, but does not allow us to view the content. And if I come back here to Bluey, it's showing subtitles, but no actual content. So the next step that we're going to try is I'm going to disconnect the display. So in this case, it's just the Apple's screen mirroring. I'm going to hit stop extending, and then we're going to try to come over into the content. And just to kind of demonstrate, once I exited, it started playing my video on my computer. And so it, again, isn't something with the projector. It's just how it's connecting in that regard. It just doesn't have that capability. But we're going to come over here on the remote. We're going to hit this square icon like we did with the Windows computer, and instead of the TV casting, we're going to try MediaCast. And it's like it says here, some apps don't support the mirroring, but we're going to try and see if this will show up. Actually, we'll see if this even gives me that option. Yeah, so at least on the MacBook side, it's just not letting me do it that way. Let me try TV casting. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's on the Mac. We'll open up the App Store real quick. We'll see if that TV casting app is available, and if not, it's just unfortunately not possible on the Mac. And it looks like for at least my MacBook, I don't have the HBO Max app. I do have Amazon Prime. Disney is also not located on as an app. And I'm guessing same with Hulu. Yep, that doesn't show up. As you can see right here, it just has the Amazon Prime, but Hulu and the others don't show up. TV casting also does not show up, so it's not the same app that the iPhones have. So search for MediaCast, which unfortunately does not have that option either. So unfortunately, it's a bust on the MacBook. You can't wirelessly display videos. Again, you can show other content, so whether it's something built in to your, like you're showing photos, you're showing documents, things like that. That stuff's going to work. It's just more the media that doesn't have the licensing access in that regard. In a later video, we'll demonstrate with connecting hardwired with HDMI on both our Windows computer and then the Mac, and of course with the phones themselves, using adapters and everything, just to see if it is different in that regard. The next demonstration that we have right here is we have our little bit of an outdated iPad Pro, which I think I got this one either in 2017, so it's old, but it works. And so like it showed on the screen earlier, in this case you would swipe down on your device and it has the very same icon similar to what the other one had, which is this ScreenShare button. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it brings up the VOPLLS. So I'm going to click on it, and as you can see here, we have that. And so we're going to go over to our apps, and we're going to go first off through Disney. We'll see if we can play any content through here. Again, we're going to go to Bluey. And as you can see, it froze on the projector. However, on my iPad, it is playing without any issues. And so I'm going to say it's probably the very same. What's going to happen on each of these apps is it's just not going to function via the wireless screen share. And this happened on the VOPLLS M10 projector that we had previously that we tested last year as well. But you see, you can look through the initial content. It's just when you try to play something, it's just not loading. So you're gonna have that forever loop. And right now it's not even playing on the tablet. Right now it's just showing in this case, the Modern Family picture in that sense. So we'll exit out of that. And I don't even know if I have HBO on this tablet anymore because we previously got rid of that subscription. So, but I'm just gonna say that it's probably not gonna work on that device. And then I'm currently using my iPhone 14 to film. I'm gonna pull up my iPhone 10 and let me make sure I'm signed in. But we'll do the same thing. We're going to do the screen share. I gotta log in, so let me end that really quick. I don't normally use my iPhone 10, and so it's not a priority in that sense with logging in and whatnot. But what's nice about the VOPLLS A6 projector is you do have all these built-in apps through the Play Store. So like we've demonstrated before, you have Prime, Disney, HBO, and Hulu, and they all act like an actual app. It's not like our M10 projector where it acted like a browser. It's a legit app. It functions as you would expect your TV to function in that sense. So as a brief example, so we got Modern Family playing right now. We're gonna do a screen share. And this is through the Hulu app. But we're gonna pull up VOPLLS and yeah, it's showing kind of like what we had on the iPad. It shows Modern Family right here, but nothing actually being played on the screen. And you can see there it shows 0000, So it's not even playing the content. And then we'll come back here to Bluey. And it's playing on my phone, but again, not playing on the projector itself. And then we don't have the other app, but we do have Jellyfin, which is our home server. And I'm hoping that this one's connected to it. But we'll see if we can play maybe a video from here as well. If it's not logged in there, I'll showcase it on the iPad, but which, as our current demonstrations are showing, both iPhone, iPad, and Mac are all functioning the same in that sense. And I do apologize, I don't have an Android device to test it on, but yeah, so the iPhone has stopped working, so it's not letting me do that screen share. So we're going to end it here, and then let me reshare my iPad. As you can see, we have our wide selection of movies. We'll just put on some good old Minecraft movie. We'll hit play. And yeah, so for the most part, Jellyfin works. It's nothing. Oh, I had the full screen button. Yeah, so it's functioning through there. So if you have apps, or if you utilize Jellyfin or Plex, you can stream it off your mobile device without any of those warnings of the content not being able to be displayed. I don't think Jellyfin really holds any of those rights to, or like those regulations per se that Disney, Hulu, and HBO and other apps have. And so there is that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything. The other thing we wanted to talk about briefly. So let me end the screen share here. On the phone, we're going to do a little test. So earlier in the video, I had mentioned that you have the TV casting app, which is this app right here. This allows you to, if you are on your phone, you can connect wirelessly to the projector without even opening up any apps. So it shows the VOPLLS. I can click on that and it says that I'm connected, and it shows connected down here at the bottom as well. This gives me the ability, of course, you can do like the wireless camera, where you can see the camera screen, kind of the inception of everything being recorded and displayed. And then if I hit back, I can open up my photo album, things like that. I can do the screencast as well, so I can click on that, start broadcast, and it'll share my screen again in that sense. And it's showing that it's being recorded. So I can go back through here, and that's just a simple test. We're putting on Blue again just to see if it does anything, but as you can see here, it froze. So we'll exit out of that. We'll end the mirroring, stop the broadcast. But the main feature we wanted to show is when you have this app, you can do this remote control, which once we're reconnected and everything, you have the control. So this is like my digital remote. Let's say I lost my remote, you can use this one. The one thing that I notice is when I try to connect to a separate screen, so in this case the iPad, what I notice is because this is acting like a screen share option, it only allows for one device to connect at the same time. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed, but I'm going to have my iPad and I'm going to hit AppleTV, and we're going to see which one disconnects. And so right now, at least on the screen, it is showing my iPad in terms of the movie. It did leave this open, which I'm going to leave right here, but I'm going to, like, for example, hit mute, and it looks like it is functioning as it should. It might have been when I was trying to connect to TV castings at the same time that it kind of errored out on me on that, but I can turn up and down the volume. So at least in that sense, it is a positive note. You can use the wireless remote at the same time. Previously, I was misinformed or didn't have it set up correctly, but it didn't allow me to have both set up at the same time. But yeah, I can't, of course, hit the arrow keys to control my iPad because it's a wireless screen share, but at least gives you the options to control the volume. And then if you wanted to exit out, I can hit like this back button, and it says press the back button twice to disconnect. And in this case, it exited out, and then I can turn off the projector. And I want to shut down. So hopefully that kind of gives one an idea on using a Windows computer, a MacBook, an iPad, and an iPhone to do the different options for MediaCast and wireless screen share on their VOPLLS A6 projector. Let me know in the comments if this video helped. Give us a like so that helps the algorithm and just kind of helps me to know if this content is something that helps you as well with your VOPLLS A6 projector. But stay tuned and we'll do more of a hardwired connection in our next video.